Hello there. I'm Barry from As the World Burns. I'm the bass player and one of the song contributors and writing and some of the lyrics as well and melody design as well. So nice to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, welcome, guys. Welcome. Anyway, let's dive into some of the questions. Uh, as a kid, what were you listening to?
It's funny. I didn't get introduced into the rock and roll and metal stuff until a later age. Growing up, I listened to a lot of what my parents listened to. I was listening to country western and some opera and pop music. And it wasn't until I came out of my house one day and saw one of my friends' two older brothers across the court playing basketball, and I heard Ozzy Osbourne "Bark at the Moon" being played, and I walked over and said, "What is that?" And I was hooked ever since. And I grew up listening to the likes of Ozzy, and things like Rat and Dokken and Motley Crue and Metallica, of course, Megadeth. Got into a lot of that. Doesn't mean I don't like all the older rock and roll, like the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac. I appreciate all that kind of stuff. It's great songwriting stuff there, and great vocals. So I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to music. I like a lot of things. I'm not really into
So, who
the
are
heavy stuff, where there's a lot of unintelligible screaming and but I can still dig the music.
yeah, cool. So who actually got you into music? Was it your parents or brother or
Yeah, they
sister,
did.
sibling, or was it a friend?
My mom, my mom insisted that I try playing piano at first, and that's where I got started, and got pretty well at that. And I decided I needed to play guitar. That's where it was, and I my dad played guitar, so he showed me some things, and I just kind of took it off from there, and used to go just play along with my radio. When I finally got my first electric guitar from a Sears and Roebuck catalog, and just learned to play from that, and that's where it all took off from. And then over the years, I met up with some old friends of mine, and all the guitar areas were covered. They needed a bass player, so I converted to bass, and I've been there ever since. So, and I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
Gives me a little more freedom too with some vocals, because I like to do a lot of singing too. So
So, who actually inspired you to, like, say, pick up the guitar or the bass or play piano?
who invited me?
Who inspired you?
Oh gosh, on the guitar, I think from a long time ago, I was inspired initially by Jakey Lee and Warren DeMartini from Rat, and George Lynch from Dokken, one of my guitar heroes growing up. So that was really where it started. They still are.
Cool. Cool. So, were you in any bands before As the World Burns?
Yes, I was in a couple growing up along the way. Yeah, they've all had mild success as well. Put out another album with one of the other ones as well. Yeah, you've probably never heard of them, but my first band was Chaos. We were pretty popular around town. Then the second was a band called the Kung Fu Dykes here locally. We were very popular, but that was back in the mid '90s, and that was just as the internet was coming around, and nobody really knew how to use it to our advantage to do anything more than we've done with it. So, and now I got up with these guys back at around 2006, I think, when I got together with them. And we've been together ever since.
Cool, cool. So, what has the band been up to, especially over like the last couple of years?
Well, as you know, the pandemic. Well, just before the pandemic hit, we lost a drummer, and he decided to go move on to other things, and that kind of shut us down for a while. But then we decided, the pandemic hit, and that kind of messed up everybody. We had some friends and do drum tracks for us, and we put the songs together for the album, and that's how that all materialized. And then after the pandemic started to lift, we found a good drummer and an additional guitar player to add to the mix, and now we have a nice good lineup and a good full sound, and we've been bringing great shows to the local area here so far. We're looking at possibly expanding out again and going up and down to some of the old places on the East Coast we used to go to play.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You mentioned that just before we started the stream, you said that you put together like a new album. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we put the new album out. It's Prevail. Prevail is a song we wrote for the album about the pandemic and how it impacted everyone's lives, and it's a really cool tune. We kind of wrote that in the studio while we were putting the rest of the songs we've had for years together down on the album. We've had a lot of member changes throughout the years, so it seems like we were always training the next new person to get caught back up to us, so we could get in the studio and get things recorded. And so it finally came to a head when we had the pandemic that we could actually take that kind of time and actually put it all down on tracks. So
yeah. Any well, it's when was it released? The album.
When was what?
When was the album? When was the album Prevail released?
Back in spring of this past year, 2022. Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah. So, is the album on like Spotify or Apple Music?
You can find the full album on Spotify, and I believe even the first album, the self-titled album, As the World Burns, on Spotify as well, and I think Reverb Nation as well. So, and we've got a few videos to support some of our songs throughout the years. You can find there at our YouTube channel at As the World Burns. Yeah.
Cool.
It's the songs on the album. One thing I wanted to mention is the cover art. That's an interesting story. The cover art for the album Prevail was actually made by a good friend of ours back before the pandemic. But if you look it up, you'll see that it's very pandemic related. There's a little girl with a big gas mask on her face and just deserted landscape behind her. It was very fitting for the whole pandemic era, as far as our album cover went. So I thought that was interesting to share with you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you, is the band writing any new material for a new album or an EP or like a collection of singles?
Yes, we're always writing more stuff. We always mess around with different riffs and see what we can put together. But we've put together a few new songs since we have the current lineup as it is right now. Getting everybody caught up to what we're playing live, and then we've moved on, and we've actually one of the new guitar players has brought in some riffs we put together and made a cool song out of. So we're excited about that when we're trying to figure out where we can get it into the show. We always get limited times to play shows, so we always got to pick and choose which songs are going to make the list for the night. So, well, one day we will get to play all of our music.
Yeah. Is there any plans on doing any tours, whether it be North America or Europe or down to South Africa?
There's been some interest about doing some shows in Europe. and talked to a few people about it. Nothing's materialized yet. As I said, getting 5 guys together in a band is like a 5-person marriage. You got to sort out everybody's lifestyles along the way, and most of us are self-employed. Some of us aren't, so that complicates things along the way for our other careers. So, with nothing really in the works just yet, though.
Yeah, cool.
We're just taking it as it comes.
Yes. Yeah. So, where can people find you on social media? Have you got a Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram, place like that?
We've got a Facebook page that we maintain. That's probably the best way. Probably an Instagram account, which my guitar player probably set up, but best way is probably Facebook. And the rest of us all personally have our own personal Facebook linked to it as well. If you wanted to chat to individuals, some of the guys are out working today, and that's why I'm the only one here doing the interview with you. So I apologize for that.
Yeah, no worries.
But,
so this is unless anybody's got any questions in the chat, as we've got 3 people there.
okay.
Any advice for people who want to become a musician?
People who want to do what?
Who want to become a musician?
Well, I could tell you the advice I'd say is don't have to stress about being an excellent musician. It's all about the song. It's all about making a good song at the end of the day, and not stressing over all the technical details of being an excellent musician. And that's really what it takes to get out there. I know it's hard to push that aside sometimes because everybody gets focused on, oh my gosh, well, I'm not, I need to play faster. I need to play more notes, or, I don't know enough chords. Well, that's not true. Some of the best musicians out there in the world who made some of the most famous songs were not that great musicians. They were very good songwriters.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sound advice.
Yeah.
Anyway, Barry, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this little interview. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and hope you look us up, As the World Burns. Take care.
Yeah. Go check them. Yeah, go check them out.
All right.
Just got a question in from one of our subscribers. She said, "This is from Curry. Do you ever come to Canada to play shows?"
To Canada?
Yeah.
Is that the question? Going to Canada?
Yeah.
We haven't gone that far north yet. The farthest we've gone is New York, but that's not to say that we wouldn't come to Canada if we had the right opportunity. If she knows of any great places we could come to play in Canada, tell her to send us a link to it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you know, Curry, if you know anybody in Canada, send a message to As the World Burns, and then we can go from there.
Yes. Sounds good.
Yeah. So, Barry, thank you again. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this little interview. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much yourself. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Well,
you take care.
All right. Catch you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, guys. So go check out As the World Burns, and they are an absolutely brilliant band. So go check them out, and if you like this stream, click the subscribe, hit the notification bell to all, and like and share. It really, really, really helps the channel out. So catch you all later, guys, and see you on the next one.